So I've been looking forward to this conversation for some time because Kelly is my favorite futurist and foresight practitioner. And she's just completed some really awesome research on what the post-pandemic and the consumer and retail spaces look like. But very first, before we get into all of that good stuff, can you tell us what exactly foresight is?
So foresight is actually a discipline. It's been around for decades, but we apply it at Kalypso for helping our clients think about the impacts to their value chain. So we're not trying to predict the future, but we actually help our clients explore multiple paths that the future might take so that they can have more rigorous planning.
You've come up with 4 alternative future scenarios. What exactly are they?
So we have our Vshaped scenario, which is flourishing communities. Our W-shaped economic recovery scenario, which is Big Brother is in control. Our checkmark-shaped recovery, regenerative systems, and our ultimately a collapse scenario or a long U-shaped recovery, which is divisive terrain.
So if you could just tell me a little bit more about what the V-shaped flourishing communities means.
So for our V-shaped scenario, we'd like to explore what would happen if a vaccine is made available. So in that case, imagine we're back in stores, we're shopping, but ultimately returning to our same habits.
And then what's the W-shaped Big Brother is in control scenario? What does that look like?
If we imagine multiple waves of the virus, the consumers are looking for more safety and security. And in that case, they might be embracing more autocratic forms of governance. Imagine that we're asking for our to play a more active role in protecting us and our safety. And we're willing to give up all sorts of privacy and inconveniences just to contribute towards a better tomorrow.
And now tell me about the third one, the check-shaped Regenitive system.
If we think of how the current crisis really provides an opportunity for our society to transform the socioeconomic structures that we're based upon, then we start to think about a slower recovery where we're really rebuilding everything around us to be more sustainable, more just. So in this case, we're making a much more equitable future. But what that means is that consumers are spending less and that we're not as focused on novelty and buying the next best thing. It's really about less is more and thinking about, do we need to make that purchase in the first place?
And now tell me about the last one, which is called the long U divisive terrain.
So this is definitely our most challenging and concerning scenario. If we play out how the health and economic disasters of the current crisis could cause a really suppressed and slow recovery. And in this case, we're still living with the pandemic and trying to navigate that. There's also limited access to goods because our supply chain infrastructure is disrupted globally from this pandemic continuing to spread in pockets throughout the world.
So as a futurist, which scenario do you think is the most likely path that we go down?
The whole intention behind foresight or scenario planning is to explore 4 alternative views. What we're trying to get to is that the future really could be any one of these 4 scenarios. It'll likely be a combination. So it's really helpful for leaders to plan accordingly, creating a robust strategy that allows them to perform well despite which scenario comes to fruition.